You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Thursday, April 30th. In our top story, we have a defendant appearing in Judge Wonker's courtroom.
On Thursday, April 30th, Fabian Ferrante appeared in Judge Wonker's courtroom for arraignment. During the proceedings, Ferrante pled guilty to attempted accessory to open murder with the use of a deadly weapon.
So, Mr. Ferrante, how do you wish to plead to attempt accessory to open murder with use of a deadly weapon?
Guilty.
The charge is considered a wobbler, meaning it can be filed as either a felony or a gross misdemeanor. If treated as a Category D felony, Ferrante could face 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections, along with a fine of up to $5,000. If reduced to a gross misdemeanor, the maximum penalty would be up to 364 days in the Nye County Detention Center and a fine of up to $2,000. Both options are eligible for probation. Ferrante is expected back in court for sentencing on July 16th. Following today's hearing, he was directed to parole and probation for a pre-sentence investigation report.
In more local news, a single vehicle accident occurs today involving a Star Nursery vehicle hauling gravel. And unfortunately, that crash shut down Highway 160 in both directions.
At approximately 2:20 p.m. on April 30th, deputies of the Nye County Sheriff's Office, along with the Nevada Highway Patrol, were dispatched to a vehicle rollover near Highway 160 and Roadrunner. According to authorities, a Star Nursery truck hauling double trailers loaded with what appears to be sand or gravel veered off the right side of the road. When the driver attempted to correct, the truck overcorrected, causing one of the trailers to overturn. The driver remained on scene. Deputies report there were no injuries as a result of the crash. The Nevada Department of Transportation is expected to respond to clear the roadway, while traffic is currently being diverted around the scene. Drivers are advised to avoid the area and expect delays as crews work to reopen the highway.
In more arrest news, a woman is taken into custody on drug possession charges. And when she was booked into the Nye County Jail, officers reportedly found additional drugs concealed on her person, reportedly leading to further charges.
The Daily Arrest Report is brought to you by Michelle Nelson for District Attorney, fighting for safer communities, standing up for victims, and working to end the revolving door in our justice system. Paid for by the committee to elect Michelle Nelson.
On Monday, April 27th, Veronica Davalos appeared in court as her sentencing had been continued. As she was being taken into custody, deputies say they observed Davalos attempting to conceal a small baggie in her hands while being handcuffed. When questioned, she initially denied having anything, but deputies say she later handed over the baggie, which contained a black rock-like substance believed to be heroin based on their training and experience. Before being transported to the detention center, deputies conducted a pat-down and asked Davalos if she had anything else on or inside her person. At that time, she told deputies she did not. However, upon arrival at the detention center, deputies again asked her, and she reportedly stated she did not think so. A second pat-down was conducted, during which deputies discovered a small piece of tissue paper concealed in her upper chest area. Inside the tissue paper was tinfoil containing a black residue consistent in appearance with heroin. Davalos was read her Miranda rights, and at that time she confirmed the substance was heroin and described it as old. Authorities say the substance weighed approximately 1 gram and tested presumptive positive for heroin. Davalos was charged with 1 count of possession of a Scheduled 1 controlled substance, first or second offense, and 1 count of unlawful delivery, sale, possession, or manufacturing of drug paraphernalia.
In today's sports news, the Raiders make a sizable donation to help with Pahrump Valley School's sports program. And VGK leads their playoff series against Utah. Mikey Ruhan has that and more now.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Let's start on the ice. Brett Howden played hero and apparently said, "Why score in regulation when you can make everyone stay up late?" He netted a shorthanded goal and
double overtime
to lift the Golden Knights to a 5-4 win over the Utah Mammoth. Vegas now leads the series 3-2 and heads to Salt Lake City Friday night. Over on the Diamond, the Las Vegas Aviators are keeping things just as dramatic. Back-to-back 2-1 wins over Tacoma. At this point, their offense is basically score 2 runs and let everybody hold your breath. Rematch tonight at 7:05. And hey, Vegas might be adding another team to the collection. The Vancouver Whitecaps could be heading to Las Vegas as part of a massive $10 billion stadium project, because clearly what this city needs is one more excuse for traffic on the Strip. And the Raiders are making plays off the field, dropping $20 grand on new equipment for Pahrump Valley High School football. They also hosted top draft pick prospect Fernando Mendoza. So yeah, future star meets future stars. Basically, the Raiders are investing in the next generation and probably hoping one of those kids can block. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thanks, Mikey. And Nye County Health and Human Services is hosting its 11th annual Pahrump Social Services Fair next Wednesday, May 6th, from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Bob Roode Community Center. It's a free event that will connect residents with important local and state resources. Organizations like Social Security, Nevada Outreach, WIC, Nevada Veterans Services, and many others will be there. No registration is required, but you can call 775-751-7095 for more info or email hhs@nyecountyNV.gov. News 25 will be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, if you're a wine connoisseur, you're loving this next story because we're going behind the scenes of the bottling process at a local winery. Mikey Ruhan visits Charleston Peak Winery right here in Pahrump.
So this is our bottling line. We are extremely lucky to have our own bottling line. Most wineries in the country do not have their own bottling line. They rely on a mobile bottler to come in with essentially the same piece of equipment on the back of like a 50-foot trailer, tractor trailer, and they'll bring it in and you'll have to basically pump your wine into their truck and they'll bottle it for you. So this is the start of the bottling line where we would put empty glass here and then it travels down the line and it gets vacuum sparged and nitrogen sparged and then it goes into the filling head, which is this is a gravity filler. So there's a gravity and there's vacuum fillers. This is has 12 heads on it, so we can fill 12 different bottles simultaneously. And then it'll come through here, and this bottling line has the option to either cork bottles or we can add screw caps to the top. Today we're doing screw cap wines. So if we did want to switch over to corked wines, we would just change these keyways out and put them on this section, and we could slam a cork in there. And then after it goes through the bottling line here, it comes to the labeling machine. And whether we're doing corks or screw caps, we can add the capsule over the top of the neck. And then we would, that machine over there is the spinning heads, which will form the capsule to the neck of the bottle. And then it comes over here into the labeling part where this station just puts the labels on, and like and we have the ability to adjust the spacing and the height of the label so we can make our product look consistent through all the different SKUs that we have. And then it comes over here to the finish line basically, and then we're packing the finished product into boxes, and then we're stacking the boxes on pallets, and then wrapping the pallets and labeling the pallets accordingly. Then it goes and sits in the back room for at least 3 to 6 months to go through what's called bottle shock. And then once it's through bottle shock, then we can decide to release it whenever we're ready for a new wine in the tasting room.
Well, Mother's Day is just around the corner, and we want to know just how great of a mom you have. That's why we're hosting our Mama of the Year contest. It's courtesy of Ace Country 103.1 and our weekday radio show, Southern Nevada Now. And there are some great prizes that you can win for Mom, including a special treat from the winery we just featured. Here's how you can enter.
Mother's Day is fast approaching, and Ace Country 103.1 wants to celebrate your mother with our Mama of the Year story contest.
That's right, Mikey. All you have to do is tell us in writing why your mom is the best. Submit your story, win great prizes just in time for Mother's Day.
You can email your submissions to me. The address is mikpvmtv@gmail.com. or gather your thoughts and stories about your mom and post them on the KPVM TV Facebook page, or you can send it along via the Ace Country 103.1 mobile app.
And our staff will choose the best story and announce the winner on May 8th. The contest runs May 1st through May 7th. Listen, you've already won by having the best Mama of the Year, but now she can win stuff like this. Mikey.
A relaxing spa day from Pahrump Wellness Sanctuary, and a fantastic dinner and wine experience from Charleston Peak Winery.
It's our Mama of the Year story contest from Ace Country 103.1. So start writing and send us your story starting May 1st.
Hi, Mom.
And good luck to all of those deserving mothers out there. In more powerful news, what does it take to replace a utility pole? Today, Valley Electric Association is sharing that complex process, which requires specialized equipment and training to complete.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Distribution poles can be found all along your roads and neighborhoods, bringing power into homes and businesses. To keep the system working properly, we regularly inspect our lines and occasionally find a few poles that need to be replaced. If a pole needs to be replaced, we do our best to keep members in service while we get the job done. So, how many linemen does it take to change a pole? First, let's look at why poles need periodic replacement. Weather disasters like lightning, storms, hurricanes, and earthquakes can cause major and immediate damage. Car crashes, equipment changes, and highway relocation are also reasons why a pole may need to be replaced. But even poles that don't suffer major damage will lose some of their strength after being subjected to the elements over the years. When a pole needs changing, line crews take several steps. First, they must carefully measure and dig a hole, typically next to the old pole, that is about 15% of the new pole's height. For example, a 35-foot pole requires a hole that is at least 5 1/4 feet deep. Second, the new pole must be fitted with bolts, crossarms, insulators, ground wires, and arm braces. Third, line crews must carefully use their tools and safety equipment to detach power lines from the old pole. Next, the new pole is carefully raised, guided into position, and set. Then, the new pole is backfilled and tamped, or packed. Electric lines are then carefully moved and attached to the new pole's insulators with tie wires or clamps. Once all live lines are securely in place, the crew detaches equipment from the old pole and removes it, leaving the new pole to do its new job. So, how many linemen does it take to change a pole? As many as needed to make sure you get safe, reliable, affordable power.
And stay tuned. We have much more local news you can use after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, now we're hearing from Josh Osborne from Great Computer Deals, who's bringing us some helpful tips on how to avoid being scammed.
Hey guys, Josh Osborne here with Pahrump Great Computer Deals. It's time for another quick tutorial. Today we are wrapping up our new video series called The Top 5 Ways That Scammers Try to Get to You. I encourage you to watch our past videos. There's some really good information. Method number 1 that we talked about in our first video was fake tech support calls. Method number 2 was what we call fake tech support pop-ups. Method number 3 is what we call overpayment scams. And number 4 is what we call bank impersonation calls. Today, we're going to discuss method number 5, which we call romance and friendship scams. Now, the first one is pretty obvious what you might think that would be. It's where there's a lonely person looking for some companionship and friendship, and they sign up on one of those dating sites, and the person that they're talking to is not who they think it is. It's a scammer. It's a person that's going to probably eventually ask for money of some kind. So you have to be wary. Don't let your loneliness and your kind-heartedness be used against you, because there's some really terrible people that are out there. Now, the other one that we see is what we call friendship scams, and those don't always take place on a dating site or app typically. A lot of time it's just a text message that comes to your phone one day with a very random message like, hey, how are you doing today? It might come in via a Facebook message or an email, or maybe one of these other instant messaging sites that you use. What they're trying to do is kind of fish for a conversation to get started. And these scammers are really good. They know exactly how to talk to you, how to gain your trust. And I've seen in many cases, these scammers are investing weeks and sometimes months of conversation and dialogue back and forth, trying to convince this person that they are 100% legit. But here's what's gonna happen at some point. That scammer is going to ask for money. They're going to claim that maybe there's a medical emergency that they're going through, or they have a friend or family member that is going through hard times and needs money, and they're going to pull at that person's heartstrings, trying to use their kind heart against them. It's terrible that this happens, but again, it's 2025. There are a lot of really bad people out there right now, so you have to be on guard for these kind of things. So we encourage you, do not engage in these random conversations, because 99.9% of the time, if you don't know who that is that you're talking to, they're probably a scammer. That right there was method number 5. That wraps up the video series. Again, be sure to go back and watch all the first 4 methods that we've already discussed. And just know, we have your guys' back. We're gonna keep making these videos, keeping you guys up to date on all the different scams that are out there, keeping you safe so you do not become another victim. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next quick tutorial.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a last look of April through our Lerner & Rowe WeatherCam on this cloudy day. We have lots of fluffy clouds in the area, and those temperatures are rising up to those clouds. We'll take a closer look at weather next.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Let's take a look now at our final forecast of April. For Pahrump, Las Vegas, and the Silver State, Death Valley's high today, 95. They're reaching back up to that century mark with a low of 66 overnight. Las Vegas's temperatures are also increasing to 83 for today's high, but will drop back down to the low 60s overnight. Hermosa's high, 85. Beatty, 80. Goldfield high today has 67 in that forecast, but then they're dropping down to a chilly 39 overnight. Tonopah tops out at only 65 today, dropping down to 38 overnight. Carson City's high today 71, then they're dropping 30 degrees overnight. The near weather twins of Fallon and Fernley have highs in the mid to low 70s, then drop down to the upper 30s, mid 40s overnight. Here in Pahrump, it is currently a comfortable 80 degrees. We reached a high of 82 today with winds out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. Humidity was moderate at 16%. Sunrise was at an early 5:51 a.m. And tonight we can expect an overnight low of 56 here in Pahrump with winds out of the northeast at 9 miles per hour. Humidity increases to 19%. Sunset will be at 7:30 p.m. sharp. And looking ahead to our local 7-day forecast, Friday we increase a bit to have a high of 85, and those temperatures keep increasing throughout the beginning of our weekend. Saturday's high 88, but then those winds breeze in Saturday night into Sunday to take those temperatures back down to the mid 80s, and by the beginning of our work week, we'll be back down to the mid 70s, a more than 10-degree drop. And Sunday going into Monday and Tuesday sees those temperatures steadily decline into the lower 70s on Tuesday, but then those temperatures take a roller coaster increase back up 10 degrees to 81 on Wednesday for the high. Then we'll be back to the upper 80s this time next week. And speaking of next week, we have an event we want to invite you to once again, the Public Speaking Festival, which will be next Friday, May 8th on the West Charleston campus of the College of Southern Nevada. It's hosted by my department, the Department of Communication, and you will be able to attend the final rounds to hear our best and brightest, informative and persuasive student speakers at 5 p.m. in the K building on the West Charleston campus in room 101. All are invited to attend. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the Public Speaking Festival next Friday. Good night.